You may have seen Marc Giles, also known as Pops, who speaks his truth in his now viral video with over 6 million views and counting about how his wife has never had to pay a bill. He's going to give us the scoop on how and why the video came to be and correct a few misunderstandings. So we are here with Marc Giles, also known as Pops. Mr. Giles, thank you. So first of all, we know you from a very famous viral video where you were speaking your truth. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and how in the world did that video get created?
Well, I guess you said my name is Marc, and they call me Pop, and because of this viral video, it started out with my daughter. My twin daughters came into town, and one of them was having a breakup with a boyfriend, and she was feeling kind of down, and so we decided to go over to my mom's house, and we were just sitting around talking, having a good time. And so when I noticed that she was looking kind of down, and I just started talking to my daughters about what I do for my family, and basically just speaking my truth about how I hold things down for the family. And again, my daughter was videoing it. And at the time, I didn't know she was videoing. She was videoing, and she said, "Pop, I videoed that." And she said, "Well, can I put it on Twitter?" I'm like, "Well, I don't even know what Twitter is, but sure." And she put it on Twitter. A friend of hers put it on Facebook, and the next day it had like 1 million views. A couple of days later, it went to 2 or 3 million. And now it's been maybe about 3 weeks, and it's well over 6.2 million views. And so, that's basically how it started. And there were so many comments with that. It was a lot of comments. Some of them was, of course, negative. Some mostly positive. And so again, I was just speaking my truth.
Now, in the video, you made some really powerful points. And just give us a little bit about your background. Like, why are you so passionate about how to lead your family?
Well, the thing I just feel like, as a man, and before I got married, I told my wife that, there were certain things that she would never have to worry about. And one of those things where she would never have to worry about the mortgage payment. She would never have to worry about paying a utility bill. She would never have to worry about food on the table. Those are the values that was instilled in me, and I say about my village because I was raised by a single mom. My father, I met my father twice in my life. When I was 6, 7 years old, and again when I was 37. But those are the values that was instilled in me by my grandfather, my uncles, and just the men in my family. And so at that point, the video, I just wanted to express to my daughters that, hey, if you meet a man and he doesn't treat you as well as your father or as better than your father, then why would you need someone like that? And I just feel like, I wanted them to understand that as a man, you have to set that bar high for your daughters, And again, even in the video, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but if you do see it, you'll know that I feel like, if as a man, if you set that bar low, then your daughters may go for anything. And that's not what a man should want for his daughters. And I said, you got to set that bar high. And that's what I talked about. Another thing I talked about was how you got fathers out here that all they do, they pay a child support check. Again, that's a good thing. That you do that. But I just feel like a child needs to have the father in their life, need to have him there in the flesh. Again, like I said in that video, a paycheck or support check doesn't go to the school. It doesn't go to the football games, the basketball games, the things that your son or daughter needs. So, it doesn't help out with homework. So I just feel like, just having the father there, that presence, is going to make so much difference in a child's life.
So now, what do you say to people who feel like you're being controlling over your wife. You're not letting her do this or letting her do that. I mean, your wife is pretty accomplished. She's a very accomplished professional.
Let me say this, and I say my queen because she is my queen. Again, I was speaking my truth, not my wife's truth. My wife has 2 degrees, one being a master's. She's an educator. She's been an educator for 17 years. She contributes to our household mightily. I mean, you know, like I said, I take care of the essentials. She takes care of the residuals. And believe me, if you run a household, have a household, it's more to a household than just mortgage and utilities. You know, my wife works 10, 12 hours a day. She's, like I said, she's an educator. So not only does she deal with other people's children all day long, she comes home and takes care of our children. I have a daughter that's a freshman in college right now. I have a son that's a junior in high school. You know, my wife, my daughter is a competition cheerleader. She cheers right there at her university. My wife, you know, has taken her on a college tour before she even went to college. I mean, all the cheerleading events, if you know, they travel a lot. I mean, all over the country. She was paying that, you know. Like I said, my wife takes care of the residuals, and this couldn't happen. In this household would not function without Mrs. Giles. So, you know, but again, as I said, and I've said it many a times, I was talking about my truth, what I do, not what my wife do. I was talking to my daughters about what Dad does.
That's a powerful thing. And as you mentioned, some of the comments, you know, sometimes we can't get past words, right? And, oh, well, he's cussing. I mean, so tell us about that.
Well, the thing is, I was in my moment. I mean, I was just in the moment. I was talking. You know, it was a thing where, again, like I said, I didn't know it was being videoed. So, again, I was just speaking from my heart. So, again, you know, the profanity, I wanted, just let me say, I apologize to my granddaughter who you saw may have seen running through the living room, my mother's house. So when it was over, this is what people didn't see. You know, I set her down and I said, hey, look, Pop is sorry for using profanity. I'm so sorry, sweetie. And she was like, no, Pop, that's okay. And I was like, no, baby, it's not. I said, because, you know, that wasn't the right thing to say in front of you. And so that's what people didn't see. So, but again, I was caught up in the moment. I was just being Dad. I had no idea that it would be on video. Had no idea it would go viral. Had no idea that over 6 million people would have viewed that 3.5-minute video.
Wow. What you got in that cup?
Oh, let me say this.
Okay.
People were talking about this cup. This cup.
What you got in that cup?
On video.
What you got in that cup, sir?
Well, this morning it's ginger ale. On that day, it's a thermal cup. The top screws off. People were saying, "Oh, he's drinking beer. He's drinking a 4 Loco or 211 Steel," which I don't even know what it is. I don't drink beer. I had a little bit of Ciroc, a little bit of crushed ice in there that day. So yeah, I was feeling it. But again, it's a thermal cup.
Wow, that's funny. So what do you hope to kind of share? I know that what you're not doing is trying to talk down to brothers. That's not what you're trying to do at all.
Well, you know, again, that message was put out to my daughters. But the thing is that what I truly believe is that, and you know, I do believe in God, and I believe that when a word comes through your mouth, and if it's something that touches so many people, you know, if you get something from that and you take something positive from it, great. Believe me, by no means was I trying to bash the brothers and saying this, because you got some really good dads out there. I mean, you have some really good guys out there that are single dads that are there for their kids. And again, I think that, you know, if it really touched the nerve, maybe it's somebody who's not doing what they should be doing. But again, like I say, by no means was that about bashing the brothers, anything like that. I just say that, you know, wouldn't, you know, I don't think any brother, any real man would say want to be on a pedestal because he's taking care of his kids, life that he brought into the world. It's great. I was a single dad at one point, but the thing is that when someone tells you you're doing a great job, oh, you're a single dad, that's great, I appreciate that. But by no means do I need to be put on the pedestal and praised for something that I should do, or something that we all should do as men, is to take care of our family, take care of our children that we brought into this world. It's a great thing. Again, there's some great dads out there, and single dads out there doing their thing. And again, I was talking about the women somewhat, because here, women have been doing this forever. You know, women do their job, and when there's a missing dad in that picture, she's doing his job. So yeah, they are the ones that should be put on the pedestal every day for the things that they do as a single parent. And that's all. That's the only point I was trying to make. And again, you know, if you take if you look at that and it's a negative to you, then look in the mirror. You know if the message was meant for you, and if you take something positive from it, that's good and well. That's great.
Wow. So what's some of the positive feedback? Like how far of reach? I mean, what are some of the comments that you've been getting, the life-changing comments?
The thing is that a lot of the positive comments was, most of them were from the ladies, from the females, were saying, you know, hey, you know, I didn't have a dad in my life, and Pops, you know, it touched me, it brought me to tears. You know, I had some, you know, there were comments where women, it just took them back to their fathers and what they saw their fathers doing in their life as a child. You know, and again, you know, you had, like I said, there was the negative part of it. But I can say this to the females, thank you, because they were shutting it down. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there was negative, positive. I can say this, hey, you know, you're gonna have opinions are like, you know what, we all have one. Everybody has their opinion, and you know, I can respect anyone's opinion. I can agree to disagree or whatever, but some people were really mean, and that was some of the, you know, when my wife read some of those comments, she just stopped and she said, I can't, because, you know, some people are just being so mean. But I was like, look, sweetheart, we can't answer millions of people. You know, my daughters and, you know, my son, they you know, that first 2 days, man, they were going in and they were defending dad. I'm like, you don't need to defend me. And again, you can't defend me against millions of people. And first of all, I don't need to be defended. I don't think I said anything that any dad would say. Again, I was talking to my daughters and I was speaking my truth. That was it, my truth.
Wow, Mr. Giles, thank you.
Well, thank you. Hey, you know, and I just want to say this right here. You know, what I do works for my family. Now, whatever works for your family, do what works for your family, you and your significant other, wife, whatever. If 50-50 works for you, that's fine. If it's 60-40, 70-30, that's fine. Whatever works for you and your family, that's what you should do. Like I said, Pop does what he does for his family because it works for my family. So again, I was never trying to tell somebody to do what I do and pay all the bills and do all this. You do what works for you and your significant other, and what's good for you and your family. That's all I want to say. Thanks.